right, looks like Peter is down to a mulligan to 5 already, and you see, not great, you see that number 1 next to Peter's name, so Peter is the higher seed, so going first here at least. But, you know, this is a deck that mulligan's okay.
Yeah.
You know, mulliganing down to 5 and 4 gets a little brutal, but you really do just need one of these amulet draws with a bounce land and maybe a grazer or something like that, and you can get it going, but you do need a decent amount of cards.
Yeah.
So it gets really brutal when you're to 5 or lower.
Yeah, well, this one seems like it's okay. So he's going to keep and send 2 cards back to the bottom and just hope the top of the deck plays nice.
Looks like Gabriel Nicholas down here on the bottom has kept his opening hand. You might know him better from his online name of Oink Mage. Dominates the Magic Online scene, as well as, you know, just a really fun person to follow on socials.
I'm going to chuckle every time I hear that.
Yep.
Mage. Hey, Ragavan, Nimble Pilfer hits the board here for Gabriel, so excellent start indeed. Now, not as many fun things to steal from Peter's deck as there was from the Grinding Breach lists.
No, not really. Yeah, Ragavan is pretty poor in this matchup. Number 1, yeah, like you said, you're hitting cards like Amulet, which are pretty much blanks. Maybe you hit a Rumble, that's probably the best you can do, or you're hitting 6 drops like Primeval Titan. Not only that, but you're also just running your Ragavan into Grazers, and it ends up being a really bad exchange. So if Gabriel's going to take out any cards, Ragavan is definitely a high consideration.
But you did a good job, buddy. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Exactly.
Speaking of Malevolent Rumble, we did some rumbling there for Peter, and got a couple of spelunkings in the bin, it seems.
Yep, and a solid start for Peter. You know, you have the 3 mana available that Urza's Saga is going to get. It is going to get an Amulet. So now we're down to 2 mana, but with the Amulet about to come down with a bounce land, you're kind of up to 4 already.
Hi, Titan. Well, that's going away.
We'll be getting a treasure here from Ragavan and 2 mana for Gabriel to see what the follow-up here is. Here, you definitely just want pressure.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So keeps the treasure around for the next turn. Ocelot Pride joins Ragavan here, and keeping Peter off of the ramp there, getting rid of that little spawn with the Galvanic Discharge.
And now this is a nice thing I spotted in Gabriel's hand is if Peter doesn't pop off this turn and try to get a Titan into play, anything like that, Gabriel has a nice follow-up of being able to go land, 3-drop, and Static Prison on the Amulet of Vigor to make sure to prevent any future development here for Peter.
And if I'm not mistaken, the spawn was sacked in response to Galvanic Discharge, so he doesn't get the energy.
Correct. Yep. 0 energy on that one. And Aftermath Analyst to be able to get some lands into the yard.
Jeez, that's another spelunking.
And we'll see if Peter can activate that Analyst this turn. It's not easy to do, of course, but that would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now Gabriel has the amazing turn here, which is probably going to lock up game 1 of being able to Flage the Analyst and Static Prison the Amulet, leaving Peter with just 2 lonely forests.
Oh. Instead of Teeth getting cracked here for Gabriel, he's going to go and find a Sacred Foundry. And get busy this turn. Get some creatures down. Get flaging. Is that a word we can say, flaging?
I think so, yep.
I'll have to ask Mason.
yeah. Flage, a phenomenal card. Not necessarily great in this matchup. You know, I wouldn't be too shocked to see some of these get sided out in the post-board games, but totally reasonable.
All right, Guide of Souls into Flage.
Remember when I said Gabriel has an amazing turn by going Flage and Static Prison?
Well, this is better.
This is even better. Gets to go Flage, Guide of Souls, and Static Prison after Ragavan connects. So just truly doing it all here.
Gross. And we make some kitties. Have we ascended? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, not yet. Not yet. Soon, though.
This treasure's going to go away immediately for the Amulet, and Peter's just probably going to go a little wide-eyed for a second and be like, all right, sure.
Well, that's a string of events that just happened. Did you just say gross? I agree.
think so.
I agree. That's so funny.
that was a disgusting turn.
Sure frickin' was.
Sponsored by Regavan and all its treasures.
Oh, did we make our kitty on the end step? Doesn't look like it.
Looks like you might have missed it, or just waiting for the tokens to pop up.
There we go. Oh, kitty. Hey, Gabriel Grazer, a little late to the party, but at least we'll provide some protection against this board that Gabriel's amassing.
Yeah, okay, so something might have just happened here. This energy was not paid unless he said pay the energy. You know, I mean, that's the type of thing. If you draw a card, you can miss something like that. So it looks like players are maybe not enforcing that at that point. Or it could have been verbally said, of course, you know, and we would never know. But
okay. Otherwise, Static Prison would go bye-bye, and Amulet would go back over there. So, God of Souls, making Ragavan fly. But Gabriel Grazer does have reach, so preventing the combat damage being dealt to face, so not digging through the top of the deck.
And now Gabriel looks like has the option of Fable or Oscillate Pride. Oscillate Pride here gains more energy as you get 1 energy from playing it. Both cats will be coming down. We'll see if we're ascended as well. That's
we're
6,
10 after,
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so we'll be getting extra cats.
Yeah. So, kitty cats aplenty now, courtesy of 2 Ocelot Prides, which is kind of gross. So, when the cats spawn, then we get City's Blessing.
Yes.
So, we don't get the extra cats yet?
So, the second one will for sure get the extra cats. As, when the first one comes into play, then it copies. I want to say there's going to be 3 total cats, but it could be 4. Yes.
Oh, boy. This is why you get your kitties fixed, friends.
Yeah, because the first one comes in which ascends, and then the second one comes in, which you get 1, and then it copies the other 2, so should be putting in 4.
Ugh. Cat math.
But it's either 4 or 6, because if that first one ascends, then you get 2 off that one, and then the second one would get 1 on its own, and then copy the other 3.
Jesus. Oh, boy.
I just didn't see how many cats were in play beforehand. So
each
judges,
token you control that entered this turn create a token that's a copy of it. Yeah, so. Yowza. Or Meowza.
Meowza, indeed. Update from our back tables is Jackson did take down game 1 with Grinding Breach up against Eldrazi Ramp.
Yeah.
And that's a tough game from Grinding Station 2. Now the consigns come in.
All right, so have we got our cats mathed out here?
Where's our graphing calculator that we had earlier yesterday to double check how many cats we have? So, yeah, it looks like it was 6 cats instead of 4 there as we ascended on the first one.
Yep, that is enough for Peter. He does not feel like having an allergy attack with all these cats. So let's take a look at sideboards now. What's Peter got against the feline force?
Yeah, so with Peter, definitely just bringing in the Vampire's Vengeance. Those are going to be excellent. Outside of that, nothing really looks that exciting. You could bring in the Force of Vigors if you want to try to answer Static Prisons to get back your amulets, but really not overly impressed on that. And then same with Dismembers. Dismembers are really for dealing with creatures that stop your game plan in some way. And, you know, Regavan, Oscillate Pride, they stop your game plan in the sense that they will kill you, you know, so that will still probably be brought in. But other than that, not too exciting. You could definitely bring in Dryad of the Elysian Groves if you are interested in trying to do any Valakut shenanigans. And that helps speed up your stuff a little bit as well.
Yeah, just being able to attack from different avenues.
Yeah.
Always a good thing to have some options instead of just, you know, the one-dimensional game plan.
Exactly. And on the other side for Gabriel, I'd be interested to see if we bring in the Molten Rains. I kind of doubt it, especially on the draw, as by the time you have 3 mana, it's just going to be a little slow. against Peter's ideal draw, where that's not going to be that great, but maybe you have to take enough cards out that you bring it in. Wear Tears are for sure coming in. Wrath of the Skies are actually interesting because if you can do that for one, you can deal with, let's say, a Urza Saga and an Amulet. Pretty situational as well. Really nothing from either sideboard besides the Vampire's Vengeance, like, really scream out as anything too exciting.
Yeah, this matchup, yeah, it'll be interesting to see like how many times these two archetypes did battle this weekend.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think after a while, players kind of just get into the groove of playing the same matchup, time and time again. But this one, I think there's a little more thinks to go around.
Yeah, definitely not as popular of a match, that's for sure. And I saw those Molten Rains get put somewhere. So, yeah, looks like they are being brought in. The Wear Tears as well as the Wrath of the Skies are all either being questioned or coming in.
Friends, if you can't make it to our next event, then be sure to check out SCG Hartford in May, 16th to 18th. Another regional championship is going to be there, as well as all of the fun side events, bunch of artists, some cool content creators, no doubt. Go and check out starcitygames.com/SCGCon. And come hang out with us, because it'd be cool to see you.
Absolutely. Next wave of regional championships, I want to say they're standard. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the format. Okay, yep, standard for the next one. So that'll be interesting. You know, you can be playing some modern RCQs with whatever fun decks you see on coverage this weekend, and then get ready for the next RCs, which will be standard. Standard RCs are always a ton of fun.
I was about to say, are you implying that standard is not fun?
I love standard.
Standard's great right now.
Yeah, standard and modern are definitely my two favorite formats, and it definitely just ebb and flows with like what the formats are looking like at the moment. And right now, I just love them both. I'm a little biased to modern because Breach is my favorite deck.
Yeah,
and,
that's your baby.
Yeah, and I get to play a lot of that. But standard, play some Bounce House, play some Gruul, stuff like that. I'm a fan.
I don't like Bounce House. Bounce House makes me sad. And now there's new toys in Ether Drift Forward as well.
Yeah. Spell Pierce, anyone? That'll be a nice one. Absolutely.
Make sure you keep mana open before you deploy your threats, friends. So our players at this table are digging through their sideboards, deciding what they want to bring in.
Yeah, going to be definitely a game where, of course, Peter has to win it here as, your back's up against the wall. But this should be a pretty favored matchup, or pretty favored game with Peter being on the play here.
Yeah.
And ideally not mulliganing to 5. I think that was a big deal here from Gabriel Nicholas.
Corey, if I had a bingo card for this weekend, I haven't checked off win with Valakut and Ride of the Elysian Grove from the Amulet Titans.
Yeah.
So can I go put in a request quick?
You definitely can.
He's taking?
Yeah, it's not as popular these days anymore. But I'm getting word that we're actually going to take a live look in on our other top 4 going down. While these players get shuffled up and ready to go, we're going to come back into this. But let's take a peek here at Jackson versus Damien here.
All righty.
And check out their game 2 with Jackson up a game.
Jackson on Grinding Breach and Damien on Eldrazi Ramp. They're just getting game 2 started here, so I do wonder if Jackson just comboed to a win there. Mox Opal into an Emery for a nice and cheap. Ooh, Consign, Emery, Underworld Breach, and a land into the yard.
Yeah, one of the ideal starts for sure, and I was really impressed. I've been impressed with Damien. We've seen him a lot on coverage so far. Haven't seen as much of Jackson, but watching that last match with Jackson up against that Orzhov Blink deck, he just played extremely well, really poised, really calm.
Nice.
Definitely didn't seem like he was playing a match for thousands and thousands of dollars. I was really impressed as I was watching off screen or off camera there.
I do notice that some of the best players, at the top of the tables are so chill. Like nothing seems to faze them.
Yeah, and I mean it's a tough learned task for sure. I mean the higher the stakes get in a match of Magic, it's just very natural for people to get nervous. But when you let your nerves get to you, you just play worse. So the people that can control that, or who just never get nervous when they play Magic, Sam Pardee being someone that has just said he never gets nervous at all and it definitely shows. Yeah.
Nice. So Jackson on the Grinding Breach took out my hero with, Doolittle on Orzhov Blank.
Yeah.
Is Jackson now your hero, being the last breacher?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely going for our Orzhov Blink gamer as well. As
Boo!
that,
No, you weren't.
I mean, hey, he played really well.
Yeah, he did.
And it was fun to watch him go, for sure.
Hell yeah. And top 32 all made it onto the Pro Tour, so
Yep.
we're going to see these players once again. It'll be great to follow their journeys.
So the command was able to eat up a bobble and get a Scion into play to prevent any Emery shenanigans. So going to be a little brutal if Jackson doesn't have another bobble or another piece of artifact to be able to bring from the graveyard with this Emery.
Gets Urza's Saga down as land for turn. On the other table, Peter is mulling to 5.
Again.
Again. That's not boding well for him.
Not boding well at all, but
Jeez,
this
what
is
the heck?
boding a lot better for Jackson here, as here comes Mox Amber to come back. I spotted a Underworld Breach in Jackson's hand, and there's the grinding station. So as far as I'm seeing, next turn it's all wrapped up because you can Emery back the grinding station.
Yeah, and then just go crazy.
Turn on Mox Amber or Mox Opal, and then just Underworld Breach here. So Damien is already at the spot where he has to interact. Karn being the best way to do something. Karn, down tick, Tormod's Crypt would be Damien's best play here. We'll see if he has it.
Yeah, I mean, this match may be wrapped up before we even resolve mulligans in our main feature.
Yeah. No kidding.
Well, let's stick around with this one for a little while. And we'll jump back over as soon as the players get going on that side. What do you got, Damien? Hey,
huge.
had it. All right. So, Karn, go fetch Crypt. Make that graveyard go away.
There's clearly not a consign there from Jackson. Otherwise, you would snap that off.
Did see one consign hit the yard, so you might have been pretty sad to see that.
And now there's the really brutal aspect if Damien goes for the combo, which, I mean, this is basically Underworld Breach and Grinding Station against Grinding Breach is this kind of combo. Now we'll see if Jackson has any follow-up. But it sounds like our main feature is ready to go, and this game looks like it will be going on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, Jackson's not going to win on the spot there with that Crypt out. Coming back to our main feature, Gabriel is up a game. Besager to kick things off here for Peter. Hopefully has a decent hand. Elegant Parlor now for Gabriel Nicholas. Surveilling. Does he like what he sees? Does not. That goes to the yard.
Yeah, and looks like another mulligan to 5 here from Peter and another keep from Gabriel. And that is just, it's brutal. At this kind of stage, at the biggest point of the tournament, this is where you very much just ask your deck, please, just give me a functional hand so we can play some Magic.
Behave, yeah. That's all we want to see as well on coverage. You'd never want to see someone in the semifinals getting mana screwed or flooding out. We just want to see good Magic. We want the best player to win without land being a factor.
Exactly. So just the Gruul Turf here as the only land. So if Gabriel did go with the plan of bringing in Molten Rains, which it did look like, yep, and I see one in hand there. If you're able to Molten Rain one of these bounce lands, it just looks so devastating.
Oh boy. Spelunking now, going to draw a card. We'll get a little land down. This is Echoing Deeps, right?
Yep, looks to be Echoing Deeps. I believe copying a Sacred Foundry in the yard.
Okay. Thraven Charm is going to take care of Spelunking.
Yep, so is able to deal with the Spelunking.
It's exile, isn't it? Oh, no, destroy.
No, just destroys. It doesn't matter too much, but I guess Gabriel was just saying, hey, I probably should have did that with the ability of Spelunking on the stack.
Okay.
But since he didn't, was able to have 1 mana free for that amulet, that actually could be big, So a minor misstep there from Gabriel, but no matter what, the rain is going to fall next turn as Molten Raining this bounce land seems excellent.
So players, just checking stuff here with the judges, making sure everything's on the up and up. Well, that resolves. Turn passes back now to Gabriel, and he's gonna ruin Peter's day, perhaps.
Yeah, good old land destruction. Everybody's favorite type of card in Magic here.
Yes, you're an Armageddon player, aren't you?
Looks like Peter knows that to be true.
Boom. Bye-bye.
But now with Amulet in play, you know, there is
That's okay.
definitely a solid scenario where Peter can do some good work here. But if Peter stumbles at all here, this is going to be bad news
Yep.
for the Amulet gamers.
Amulet Titan, Boros Energy, Grinding Breach. You know, all of these different archetypes making their way to the very, very tippity top here this weekend. So, sign the format.
Yeah, and I mean, 4 different decks in our top 4 is awesome.
Yeah,
you know, no
that's
matter what,
fantastic.
we got Boros, Amulet, Eldrazi, and
Yeah.
Grinding Breach.
Yeah.
And as much Breach as there was at the top, as much Eldrazi ramp there was at the top, you cannot ask for a better top 4 that we're graced with right here.
Yeah. I mean, we scripted it like that, so.
We did.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
supposed to say that.
Yeah. Shh, shh, shh.
Nope. You heard nothing. What do we got here? What's this, Crumbling Vestige?
Yep, and just passed.
Wow.
So no ability to do anything too crazy. I do think we saw a Arboreal Grazer that Peter almost played, but looking like Peter wants to hold that for maybe next turn, where let's say if you have Arboreal Grazer plus Bounce Land next turn,
Yeah.
that would be 6 mana. So we
Yeah,
would be online
sweet.
for a Titan.
Oof.
But that being said, it looks like Gabriel has Wrath of the Skies and Orum's Chant. Orum's Chant's an interesting one, if I saw that correctly.
That card is not nice.
Yeah, the one thing you can do, too, is, like, you know, in response to a trigger from Amulet to untap, you can just then play Orum's Chant to allow Peter to not be able to play a Titan. Can do a lot of stuff with that card.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Give it the old cut. And where is Gabriel going? That is Fable the Mirror Breaker, so we're going to get a little buddy. Get the Goblin Shaman out.
Okay, solid. And looks like just holding up the Orum's Chant as the only piece of interaction. Orum's Chant, 2 lands, and a Wrath of the Skies. So, solid, but definitely not amazing. Yeah, I like the decision from Gabriel here. Gabriel was really thinking, do I want to Wrath of the Skies the Amulet right now? It's not the best value. It's just cleaning up one thing, but it's that important. Or Fable and try to Wrath of the Skies later, but maybe lose your Shaman, maybe lose a treasure in the process. But Gabriel's hand is so bad with the other 2 lands that Fable to discard those was too appealing.
Yeah. Fable the Mirror Breaker, another incredibly good card. So good it got banned in a couple formats, but still legal here and still helping sculpt the hands of our players here in the semifinals. So Gabriel's going to hope to find some goodies off the top of the library, as Peter's getting some stuff done over here.
Yep, looks like we are doing it. So this is going to be the turn where I'm sure it's going to end with Peter presenting 6 mana and then not able to cast any spells this turn, but we'll see exactly how it works.
A green, a blue, a colorless, a grazer. I'm just curious, when will Gabriel fire it off?
I don't think there is a point right now. Basically what Gabriel is thinking is there a spot where Peter could just play an untapped land where it wouldn't put a trigger on for Amulet, and then there would be no spot to Orum's Chant. But with the way this works here, you'll get this Amulet untapped trigger. That would have been enough mana for Titan, but not the case now. But 6 mana will be in play next turn for Titan, so Gabriel will have to find a way to interact with it next turn.
All right, so just putting the brakes on there for Peter's game plan. But he's going to have to wait to deploy the big old dum-dum there, Primeval Titan. So, looks like Echoing Deeps copy the Gruul Turf in the bin. And bouncing the Vestige, question mark?
Yep, definitely a possibility there. It almost doesn't matter As long as you bounce either the Boseiju or the Vestige, no matter what, you'll be able to cast Primeval Titan next turn. And we game on. Now, the one thing that Gabriel's definitely missing this game compared to last game is just absolutely no pressure.
Yeah, there's nothing. He's just kind of dirtling. But let's see. Maybe Fable the Mirror Breaker can bring him some action.
Yeah, at this point... Oh, that was another Molten Rain. Oh, my goodness. That was perfect. Being able to Molten Rain that Simic Growth Chamber and leave Peter with just 3 lands, or 3 mana, will pretty much prevent Titan in any normal way here. So.
Galvanic Discharge as well. So swinging first, we're going to have our little Grazer block the Shaman, but a treasure here now for Gabriel. And the follow-up, the rudeness of get your dual land out of here, essentially.
Looks like we are going to go with Wrath of the Skies and Molten Rain here.
Okay. Boom.
So yeah, Gabriel just once again kind of playing this Boros control post board that we've seen a lot in other matches. And now with this Marsh Flats, being able to Wrath of the Skies for 1 to take away this Grazer, take away the Amulet. Also, the Shaman will be heading away as
well. His job.
But yeah, totally did the job.
Marsh Flats going to go and fetch. And yeah, like you said, just clear this board entirely. Fable the Mirror Breaker doing a decent job here, finding Gabriel some extra stuff to do. So Galvanic Discharge for any further Grazers. No other creatures really in the deck, right? It's like Titan and it's Sloth.
And the Dryad of the Elysian Groves, if you are bringing those in.
Yeah, I suppose Aftermath Analyst is a thing too.
Yeah.
Probably the best target for a Galvanic Discharge.
And now, with all that being said, with the Wrath of the Skies here, I want to say that last card in Gabriel's hand was a relative blank. I didn't get a good look at it. So, you know, now Gabriel has the reflection and has bought himself some time for sure. No matter what, Peter is really slowed down here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, there is an Amulet. There's the Crumbling Vestige we knew about. So now, with Amulet number 2, well, Amulet number 1 now, and a bounce land for next turn, Titan is online again. And it's pretty face up that one of those 2 cards in Peter's hand is a Primeval Titan, as he was trying to go off a couple turns ago.
Man, he has just been stalled, delayed. It's like waiting for a flight at an airport that just keeps getting delayed. And now we see a Johnny hit the board here alongside the reflection of Kikijiki. So Gabriel is now finding the pressure after finding all the, permission and denial.
Exactly.
For Peter.
So the pressure is definitely on, and now we'll see if Peter finds bounce land to go with the almost face-up Titan that we think that he would have.
What lands? Okay, if the Titan resolves, what lands is he fetching, do you think?
It almost starts basically every single time with going to get the Handweir Battlements, as well as either Valakut or just any way to produce red mana. For the battlements, and then you go get 2 more lands, which always kind of vary based on the situation.
All right. There's prime time. Let's hit the board. Now let's go fetch some lands.
So there's some thought if you are worried about a possible Thraben Charm or some way to kill Primeval Titan, you go for some kind of value selection of lands first. But, with kind of Gabriel's body language here of kind of just saying, do your thing, or, only 1 card in hand, I would think you go to give it haste right away. So definitely the battlements, and then just see what else you want to get. You could get Vesuva.
Oh, Valakut,
or
I
the
think you got?
Valakut. Yeah.
Alrighty, so Red Source and Handweir Battlements making our hasty boy hasty. Got to get some more lands.
And now we'll see what the other lands are being picked up. And now one of the more common ones is you get your Teleria West plus your Simic Growth Chamber. Gets untapped both of those, add 3 mana, and then you can transmute.
Yep.
But
using the Growth Chamber to bounce its area.
exactly. But you can, of course, get a plethora of different things. Being able to get something like Otawara plus bounce land so you can have a channel land in hand is great. You really can't go wrong with any of your selections at this point.
And the Infinite Titans combo is only possible with Aftermath Atlas, correct?
Yeah, that is the way to go absolutely crazy with that. Won't be seeing that right now.
Gabriel's down to 13. Peter's still sitting at a healthy 20.
And it looks like the Vesuva was copying Valakut here. So if that kind of signals to me that there's 2 Valakuts on the battlefield. So there is the possibility of that 3 mana that's in play with the Simic Growth Chamber and the Vesuva that is a Valakut to, let's say, Summoners packed up a Dryad of the Elysian Grove. And then if you have a bounce land, that deals 6 damage as well. And I think Gabriel will come to the conclusion that if that's there, I can't win.
Yeah.
So we'll see Gabriel doing a lot of blocks that just assume in his brain that Peter has nothing, as Gabriel's at a spot where he just can't play around anything anymore.
Dryad making everything a mountain. So Valakut times 2 will just go pew pew.
And yeah, remember, this was the game for Peter where mulligan to 5 for the 2nd time. So if I'm Peter and you're just about to start game 2, you're just about to play your first permanent and you've mulliganed to 5 back to back, you're like, please just let me get to game 3.
Oh, we're going to see a Summoner's pack now. Go find a critter.
And we'll see if Gabriel has anything to do about that. That would be an interesting spot to cast an Orm's Chant or something like that.
Yeah.
But
there's Dryad. Here comes lands.
Yep.
I would at least assume here come lands.
Yeah. No matter what, even if Peter just doesn't even have a land drop, being able to, and we still have one.
Yeah, because that gives an extra land drop, and I don't think we've played the land for turn, right?
Yeah, I don't think we have either, but I was saying even if Peter didn't have a land in hand, which would be weird to search up the Dryad in the first place, but it would still be severe advantage to Peter for sure.
So a Johnny taken care of, 3 to the face, and Galvanic Discharge is going to use up all of the energy that Gabriel has available to take care of the Primeval Titan.
So, yep, now if you can deal with the Dryad, we're definitely still playing Magic here. But otherwise, this is going to be brutal, as more than likely Peter had a bounce land in hand and then was just able to play that bounce land twice, deal 12.
Yeah.
And now we got one game of Magic between these two gamers for a World Championship spot.
Let's take a look at our sideboards quickly here, Corey, and then if we have some time, we'll jump over and see what's happening in our other semifinals. So what changes did we make?
Probably no other changes based on player of the draw. These Molten Rains, if they were brought in when Gabriel was on the draw, they are definitely staying in on the play, and they looked incredible there. So, I take back any question mark I had on that card, as that looks really, really strong when you compare it with some ways to deal with Urza's Saga or to deal with an Amulet. It's a nice thing to pair after that.
A little bit of extra damage there, too, is pretty sweet.
Okay. All right, so we're going to take a live look in at our other match and see maybe how this one's shaken up.
So Jackson up a game. Things getting pretty complicated here. Consign some memory on what looks like a lot of colorless stuff.
Yeah, on the Emrakul, and that is Jackson taking it down and locking himself up a World Championship seat and at least a finals berth here. So big congratulations to Jackson, the lone Breach gamer left in the top 8.
A little bit of a smile there.
A little bit,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you know, it's just like job's not finished.
Nope. It's got to win the whole thing, man.
Job is not finished. Let's make sure and win that finals as well. Jackson seems dialed in. And big congratulations to Damien. You know, I mean, Damien played great all weekend. Really rough to, not make it the one more match there, win a couple more games to make it to Worlds. But I think he's a player we're going to see a lot more of in the future. Definitely going to be seeing him in Vegas.
Yep.
And I got high hopes for Damien, as he's just an incredible gamer.
Yeah, he's put on a great show for us this weekend. So GG's. You know, nice chunk of change to go home with as well, and get to see him at the next Pro Tour.
Yep, absolutely. So Jackson is going to need an opponent here. If it's going to be Breach versus Energy in the finals or Breach versus Amulet.
Just a reminder, friends, if you have some extra cards lying around that you're trying to get rid of, well, there's an easy way to get rid of them. Get some extra cash, trade them in for something else, sellyourcards.starcitygames.com. Go and check it out. And also, there's a flash sale on that is ending tomorrow. So if you want to go pick up some singles, you know, sell your cards and go get some singles. Anything over $50, you'll get free shipping on. So take advantage of that while you can.
Yep, absolutely. We've got more regional championships coming up and a lot of standard about to get a shake-up with Aether Drift. So get some cards and save yourself some cash.
Race on over, will ya?
There you go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, so looking at Gabriel's hand here, it looks like 2 land. I saw 2 Molten Rains as well, and I know this is going to be shocking, but it looks like Peter's mulliganing.
Oh, my gosh. To 5 again? No.
Let's hope to at least just 6 here. So far, Peter has mulliganed 5 times in this match. And Gabriel has mulligan 0. To be fair, Boros Energy is a much more consistent deck than Amulet.
Yeah.
Amulet, you need a specific type of hand.
I just saw it was in Gabriel's. He's got 2 of those Molten Rains.
Yeah.
Ouchie.
Yeah. Let it rain.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Goddess Souls. I think I saw a Ragavan in there too. So, woof. Gabriel's going to be off to the races as soon as this game starts.
Yeah, absolutely. Setting fire to the rain here. I'm pretty sure that's what the Adele song is about, was Molten Rain.
Please don't start singing.
Yeah, she was sick of losing to that card as well. We get it, Adele.
Or maybe she's the one casting the spell, you know?
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Land destruction.
Yeah.
She just says, hello, land destruction left and right.
Hello, it me. I was wondering if you'd like to talk about some Breach.
All right, kept 6. Thank God. Peter only mulliganed once this game.
Woo! Alrighty, let's boogie. So, both players have a game in the semifinals. Goddess Souls to kick things off.
So all the things I've seen so far from Gabriel's hand, Gabriel is definitely praying for land number 3. It's not there, and if the follow-up is just a Goblin Bombardment or something like that, that is not ideal for Gabriel at all. So if Gabriel stumbles at all, Peter is going to have himself a bit of an easier time for sure.
Yep. Arboreal Grazer into the Crumbling Vista. Woohoo! Hello. Into an Amulet of Vigor. Now this is, he's cooking now.
Yeah, this is a much better start here than we've seen the past few games. And I mean, the ceiling on Amulet is through the roof. You know, I mean, with this start, it's possible to win on turn 2. And maybe the Molten Rains won't even be that big of a deal, but that is land number 3.
Windswept Heath off the top of the deck here for Gabriel, so he's going to be happy to see that. Get that on the board, get cracking.
So Thraben Charm is a great card, but unfortunately Gabriel would love to trade that Destroy Target Enchantment for Destroy Target Artifact line. And Gabriel did have the opportunity to try to kill the Grazer with the Thraben Charm, but not an exciting play by any means, and decided to not play Goblin Bombardment either. So is just holding up the Charm.
Charm, yeah. Just in case of emergency, I would imagine.
And just really wants to get the Surveil instead. Values that a little bit more.
Nice, yeah.
And now Peter didn't have a great turn by any means, with just having a Valakut untapped saying go.
That wasn't exciting. I want to see a turn 2 win.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, it would have had to have been Amulet,
Yeah.
you know, plus a Grazer there. And with Peter not being able to keep a 7-card hand,
Yeah.
that's always a little tricky.
Odds were unlikely. So, surveilling whatever is on top. Gabriel likes. Turn passes back now. Oh, boy. Molten Rain's going to start blowing some stuff up.
It definitely will, but it's not the worst-case scenario here where you're Molten Raining a bounce land or anything.
Yeah.
So still just totally reasonable. And now a Molten Rain on the Forest, I guess, is probably going to be the best target so far. Maybe you can get that Valakut out of there. But nothing too exciting so far from Gabriel's side. Just picked up the Ocelot Pride, which would have been excellent last turn. If you could get Guide into Pride and then Molten Rain, that would be great. But the pressure is just not really there yet for Gabriel.
Well, Kitty Cat would still make a token on the end step, courtesy of Guide of Souls.
Yep, get a little bit of energy, but that would mean no Molten Rains
Yeah.
possible. It's we might see it, though. We really might see it because the one thing that the Ocelot Pride plus Guide of Souls would allow is, well, Ocelot Pride would be creature number 2, the cat would be creature number 3, and then that Charm could pick off a Primeval Titan if it came down. But,
Yeah.
you know, trying to attack the Amulet deck and thinking of, okay, after you play Titan, I can do this. That's not great. You wanna cut off the legs from the deck. You don't want Titan to ever hit the battlefield.
Molten Rain taking care of, what was that, the Valakut?
Yep, Valakut's gone.
So, just limiting some of the mana that Peter has available at his disposal. Well, Valakut is what won him game number 2, so I don't mind seeing that in the bin.
Very true. Can always come back with Aftermath Analyst, though, so it may be gone, but it's not forgotten.
No. Need
Okay,
some
there-
Graveyard Exile,
There
huh?
is the Growth Chamber, though, so that is 4 mana. But just to pass back, this second Molten Rain is probably not going to be cast fast enough here from Gabriel.
He's going to think about it.
Oh, it's,
You know.
it's going to be a little acting job, but
You got to think of everything. Even the worst plays you have to consider. Oh, we're going Kitty Cat.
okay.
Okay.
Looks like maybe there's not land 3 there. And yeah,
Land
looks like we
4,
are
no?
not going to cast the Molten Rain. I spoke too soon.
Goblin Bombardment.
Because now
Or just Fire Charm.
with the Crumbling Vestige, it does not unlock Titan next turn. So there will still be some help that needs to happen here. Either a Grazer, another Amulet, something like that. Just the Vestige alone is not enough. That looks to be a Lotus Field. Lotus Field can definitely
Nice.
get it going.
Oh, alrighty.
And
It's hexproof.
that is that is something you can't target. So maybe a little bit of an oops here.
I mean, that's Primeval Titan. Like, you can kill that with the charm.
Yeah, that can die for sure, but there will be an amount of lands on the battlefield now that can unlock any future Titans,
Yeah.
where if you Molten Rain last turn, yeah, there's one Forest in play, and if you play Lotus Field, that's only 4 mana.
Yeah.
There was basically no way to get Titan, but now as it's going on here, we have Vesuva on Lotus Field, and then all the lands are going away, but that means we're going to cast another Titan.
Oh.
Not Molten Raining here could have absolutely
Owie.
spelled the end here from Gabriel.
This is bad news indeed for Gabriel Nicholas on Boros Energy, opting to go for the creatures developing his battlefield, but not taking care of the land there from Peter, and this happened.
And I mean, this is so far just the absolute worst case scenario. You know, I mean, everything is unfolding in a very negative way here. And you can kind of wait until
Yeah.
Hanwar Battlements and a red land comes into play, and then whatever creature is given haste, then you can Thraben
that
Charm
one.
that one. But, I mean, that's one primetime down. Then you still have another problem on your hand.
Yeah, I guess, like, what's in his hand? Does he have another answer for the second one? There's the Crumbling Vestige, and there's the Hanwar Battlements.
And there's the answer for it. But, you know, this isn't one of the scenarios where we Summoners Pact for the Primeval Titan and you're going to win on the draw step or anything like that.
Yeah.
You still have another prime time to deal with. And if we can deal with that, It's not bad, but
Yeah.
in hand, I see Fable the Mirror Breaker, Molten Rain, which Molten Rain is now terrible, and a Goblin Bombardment. So really needs to top deck another Charm or another way to be able to deal with a Primetime here, and there are not that many ways from the Boros Energy side.
Let's see, maybe. Fable, Molten Rain.
It's another Goblin Bombardment that is the absolute worst draw in the deck.
Yeah, that's not great. Wow, okay. And there's not enough energy to send anything flying.
Yeah. And you can, so the one thing you can do here.
Fable, yeah.
Okay, so if we get Fable, if we can ascend, we could, no, I mean, we don't have the Goblin Bombardment on the battlefield here. Yep. So, yeah, Primeval Titan's going to be able to attack. You get this Oscillate Pride to be able to jump into the air and at least deal a little bit of damage, but that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 permanents. It's only going to bring a cat into play, not a cat, and a shaman.
Yeah. So that can attack through the Arboreal Grazer. It might chump block. It might just be fine with this.
Yeah, and then next turn, Peter gets to start the game with a Primeval Titan and an Amulet in play. And, you know, you can do something like Simic Growth Chamber, Teleria West. Maybe you can generate enough mana to get more Titans in. Or Aftermath Analyst, bring back 3 Lotus Fields and go completely crazy next turn. All depends on what Peter has here. I think that was a Summoner's Pact.
Oh, gosh.
Picking up the Graveyard leads me to believe that Aftermath Analyst has the ability to maybe be played and activated.
Definitely needs a green source.
Yep. Primeval Titan for sure gets that unlocked on its own.
Interesting thinks here for Peter. How do we attack this turn?
Yeah.
So,
I think this is just the slow down moment for Peter. Be like,
Yeah.
all right, I think I have this. I just got to make sure I don't make any incorrect play.
yeah. Because is he going to try go for the win this turn, or?
I mean,
one more
whenever you
turn?
can go for it, you're definitely going to go for it. You know, there's no real free spell that's a catch-all be-all from the energy side. Like, if Peter can do it, he's going to do it, but... And there's no way for this Primeval Titan to even die in combat if Gabriel's able to block, so...
Yeah, it would just be a chump block with
Yeah.
one of the kitties. So, first things first, to combat. Into the red zone goes Primeval Titan. We're going to go find some lands.
And figure out what we want to hit here. Let's see. There's so many different lines that you can always be taking, and it's so contextual to your hand, but... If it was indeed Summoner's Pact, if you can find a way to go to your second main phase and have 6 mana available, then you get to do a lot of stuff with the rest of the lands in your graveyard. But if you don't have anything else to do with it, all that mana isn't that exciting.
Yeah.
You know, if Mirror Pool was in the graveyard already, then no matter what, you have a Primeval Titan you can copy, and you can do that stuff. But as I'm seeing, the lands in the graveyard are just a ton of mana, but not necessarily ways to continually string together Primeval Titans or anything like that.
Because there's, what, 2 Lotus Fields? Two Lotus Fields. There's the Vesuva, there's Forest, Valakut, and the Simic Growth Chamber.
Yep.
So Echoing Deeps will copy something in there.
That looks like Echoing Deeps and Mirror Pools. So if Echoing Deeps is copying a Lotus Field, you'll put these triggers on the stack where you sack your lands last, untap, add 3 mana, 4/5 with that, copy Primeval Titan. Then Primetime gets 2 more lands, the copy of it, and then we'll have to sacrifice 2 lands to the Lotus Field trigger. But regardless, that's another 6/6. You know, once you play the first Primeval Titan, it's trivial to keep playing Primeval Titan, so I want to just keep bringing back that Molten Rain turn. That could have been a gigantic deal from Gabriel's side.
Could well have been. So, will Gabriel Nicholas regret not blowing up some lands? Or does he still have a chance here? I mean, what's the odds that he wins?
It's looking very slim at this point, as, you know, I don't see a way for Gabriel to deal with the board.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's not even saying anything else that Peter can do with the cards in hand. And, you know, like I said, probably saw a Summoner's Pact. Now with the Shifting Woodlands in play, that's setting up that line where Shifting Woodlands can copy an Aftermath Analyst when it's in the graveyard.
Yep.
Then you can sacrifice the Shifting Woodlands, in air quotes.
Yep.
Bring back all the lands, which includes... You guessed
Yep.
it, the Shifting Woodlands, which copies the Aftermath Analyst.
Oh my
Mirror Pool
gosh.
copies a Primeval Titan. Every single cycle you do that, you can get essentially infinite Primeval Titans. And, you know, the Primeval Titan string will eventually get Teleria West, which will get Summoner's Pact number 2, which gets Dryad of the Elysian Grove, which gets the Valakuts and wins on the spot. So it's a convoluted way of saying I will win the game,
Yeah.
but it does take a little bit more setup time.
It's free
than
real
this.
estate, Corey.
It is. It's something. And there's the Pyroclasm, the Vampire Clasm here as well to make sure Gabriel doesn't have a battlefield.
Yeah.
And Peter has everything wrapped up to go next turn. So
I think we found our second finalist.
I think we did. You may have mulliganed 5 times, but he might be putting 5 Primeval Titans into play as well.
Oh, goodness me. That's just brutal for Gabriel. Putting up the good fight here with Boros Energy, posting the best results of the weekend with the archetype that's been dominating the format up until this weekend.
Yep, exactly. And now with the battlefield cleared there, the Thraben charm that was an out
Yep.
to deal with one of the Titans is gone. And now there's just, I'm looking at the list. I don't see it unless we can somehow Wrath of the Skies for 6.
Yeah, we need some treasures there. I don't think we got those. So if able to break a chapter 2, discard, then draw. Gosh, what a tricky pickle to be in.
Yeah, and looks like 2 Goblin Bombardments. Here's a Molten Rain that's going to go to the yard. And now it's, you know,
Jeez.
pretty much useless, as well as Goblin Bombardment number 2.
Man, that graveyard is terrifying.
Yep. Maybe if we were Ascended, there was some scenario where Goblin Bombardment plus a top deck to Johnny could do something, but
Yeah.
I'm not seeing a way out.
I don't think we got Ascension, so. Gabriel just thinking of any possibility here, any edge case that he can get back into this matchup. But as it stands, Peter has this all wrapped up.
Yep, and that going deep, for a reminder, is on Lotus Field, so not a Molten Rain target.
Bombardment and Rain in the bin, draw. Anything good?
Yeah, we'll see. There is a Galvanic Discharge. Okay. If it's Galvanic Discharge plus Wrath of the Skies, we can actually get up to, only 5 mana with a land drop.
Yeah.
So still 1 short. I guess 2 Galvanic Discharges, land, and Wrath of the Skies. That's the out.
Yep.
That is the out. That involves 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, though, which we do have 4 cards.
There's a land, there's
that's
it's
not enough.
bombardment. That's not going to do it. Oh boy. Sacred Foundry, enter tapped. What else do you have? Nothing. Yep.
Probably passing the turn for the last time of Gabriel Nicholas's tournament, but had an incredible run.
Yep.
We saw, you know, him pilot this Boros Energy deck so well against other combo decks, and just really knew his role all the time. When we saw him play on coverage, it was really impressive. But yeah, with 2 prime times here,
Yeah.
and the ability to probably get Aftermath Analyst, we should be all done, and it looks like it's going to be a combo finals here between Amulet and Breach
Oh boy.
to see who's going to take down the title.
I'm rooting for Amulet Titan if that's okay.
Yeah, me too.
No, you're not. Well, Peter still got to get there. You know, he might accidentally hit escape and concede.
Yep,
Yeah, you know,
Yep.
it's possible.
definitely possible.
So just going to go through all the steps that he needs to get this game well and truly won and done. So there we're going to see the Summoner's Pact. Let's go find our Aftermath Analyst and do some dumb stuff.
Yep, absolutely. And I think the only way that this doesn't result in a win immediately is if Peter plays the Analyst while not being able to sack it immediately,
Yeah.
which there's just no reason. So, yeah, this is the Analyst with 4 mana floating.
Yep. Mill, bring back all the lands.
Yep.
Do the dumb thing.
Mill, 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 sacrifice it. Here comes the trick. So here is where Peter will explain
Yes.
the combo. We're going to get back all this mana. The Mirror Pool is going to copy a Titan every single time. Then Aftermath, or then the Shifting Woodlands. As long as we still have Delirium, which easily should, the Woodlands will copy the Aftermath Analyst. You'll sacrifice it. You'll bring it all back. And you'd think like, oh, well, the lands are all coming back. There won't be any in the graveyard. With 2 Lotus Fields, you'll be able to sacrifice 4 lands each time.
Yep.
Those 4 lands you'll bring back every single time. And we should be all wrapped up here. There's the Haywire Battlements to give all these infinite Titans that we're about to see haste every single time. So not only are there going to be infinite Titans, they're all going to have haste. You're going to be able to attack with infinite 6/6s.
Good grief. Again, I ask, who comes up with this stuff? Good grief. Peter Husisian